I love the names on this team. They have Sixto Sanchez, and they have my favorite name probably in baseball right now, Jazz Chisholm.
Showing emotion in baseball is terrible and should never be in the game.
It's weird how the dynamic works between sports.
But to win a championship, not only do you need great players on the court, but you need good chemistry, which takes time to develop.
Justin Fields is a all-time talent.
Corey Perry will give some veteran presence to the Canadians.
I feel like Luka will take that next step, and if he can get a three ball consistently around 35%, I feel like they could become a contender.
We can make jokes about you not being in the Super Bowl for 20-something years, but...
What's up, everyone? This is Justin Goldman from the Goalie Guild and Lift the Mask, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man that's just an onlooker as I am thinking, a little thinking too much. I'm documenting this sadness. Could be a little 10-minute video here, 10-minute version, as you say. But Austin.
Yeah, I mean, I asked this question because I know that, again, I think I would be worried at this point regarding Ceedee, and what's your kind of take on it? What do you think is going to happen, and obviously, how do you feel right now?
So I would say it's not great with him holding out and just all this drama from a fan perspective, and I would say from a traditional football standpoint, you do not want your number one wide receiver, number one weapon not being at camp 2 weeks before the season. However, I think it gets done. I have the feeling too that Dak also gets done. Just everything gets done, but in the worst way possible and the least efficient way. But it's from the aspect from Jerry Jones is I'm selling tickets. Talk shows, including ours, are talking about Ceedee when Jerry's just going to give him all the money. They can waive the fines given that he's a rookie. So that's my take on it. He'll be a Cowboy. I'm not.
You mean rookie
that.
deal, right?
Rookie deal. Yeah, rookie deal. Because it's part of the new CBA, you can waive the fines. But for a Trent Williams is he loses that money and you can't put it back in the contract. That's how they used to do it in the past before this CBA.
Yeah.
Like,
I do think it gets done, but I'm starting to question it. I know that Jerry's all about the limelight and he wants the Cowboys to get as much attention as possible because it helps him monetarily speaking. But I do think, what if Ceedee does one out? I mean, I know that he changed his profile picture to the Marquise Brown and him with, obviously they were Oklahoma teammates, but now Marquise Brown plays with Kansas City, and there was Kansas City Chiefs fans like, well, what if we get Ceedee? And it's like, oh, I don't think he will, but I do think at some point you do have to be worried. Are you worried right now, Kevin, or is it something that you'll be worried about like a couple weeks from now, or what point are you worried about him re-signing?
So I'm not really worried about him re-signing. I'm pretty confident that happens. I'd be shocked if that didn't. My worry is this going into the season because this is a very big year for the Cowboys, big year for the entire coaching staff. And when you look at the running back room, it's really unproven. I know Zeke was great, but Zeke is not what he was. And there's really no lead back. So that really just leaves your passing game. And we've talked about Ceedee. We both believe he's a wide receiver one. Make sure you check out that video. The problem is you need him on this offense or this offense is not going to be good because there's questions about the run game and then guys behind Ceedee. Ceedee really would make this offense go, in my opinion. I don't think I'm exaggerating that.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think he makes the offense go. And I think that his impact on the game is especially extrapolated by, like you said, the fact that they don't really have another avenue besides passing the ball. Like if this was a year ago, I would have, going into the season, I would have believed in Pollard to be able to run the ball some and to get some other guys going. But I do believe that this hurts guys like Jake Ferguson because Ferguson really needs a guy in front of him for him to get his necessary targets. But if Ceedee's not playing, then I think Jake Ferguson is literally the best offensive threat besides that. I know that people would say Brandon Cooks, but I do think that Ferguson's probably the better player at this second. So it's tough, and I do think that the Cowboys need to get it done before week 1, or they could start the season in a bad way.
Yeah, especially against a good defense like the Browns. So I really can't see him not being a part of the team in the future, just from a player standpoint. And also, he's 88. I can't see that happening. I did have a Chiefs fan tell me a few weeks ago he's going to be the Chief. I'm like, you're dreaming. That's not happening. So,
Thought of it like he's 88. I never thought of it like that.
yeah.
Has an
So
88 ever played or ever been traded? I don't think that's ever happened. I know Dez ended up playing for another team.
Yeah.
That was a couple years after he had left.
Well, they cut him, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but he didn't play for another team for like a couple years because he tore his Achilles, remember?
Yes, I remember that.
He signed with the Saints and then got cut because he tore his Achilles.
And then he was with the Ravens practice squad or something like that.
Or he played for the Ravens.
He played for the Ravens? Okay.
Yes.
Couldn't remember. So it's annoying because I don't have much faith in the Cowboys this season, just given how last season ended and nothing really changed. But Ceedee is a great player, and you should just pay him. They should have paid him last year to avoid it, because they're just a terrible marketing team. Because we talk about the quarterback numbers, it's starting to happen everywhere. I don't know how they were able to get Trevon Steele at a nice number. He's not the number one guy and wasn't the number one guy when he signed, but I am super confident that when Ceedee signs, he's going to up the Justin Jefferson contract. Then you have the Dak contract. That's going to become the number one. And it's just a terrible marketing standpoint when, if you did this last year with Ceedee, you wouldn't. What was the benchmark for? Was it AJ Brown money for the number one?
I think it was Tyreek Hill.
Okay, Tyreek Hill. Then Tyreek Hill is your benchmark, but now it's Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, and CD's agent's going to do it and go, that's the benchmark. And you wouldn't have to deal with this last year. And then you have him on a nice contract where it just continues to go down each year. But they don't do that. They just worry about the limelight. So my only worry is, can he play this season? Because he can play. It's just, will he play? And the Joneses have no leverage. They do have leverage because apparently in the rookie contract, this would be a void year. So he would still be under contract next year if he sat out the whole year. But that doesn't help the Cowboys on the field.
Yeah, I would say that he doesn't really have the leverage. I do believe that Ceedee definitely has a much stronger case to be made. I don't. So I just want to ask you this. I think this is the big question for this video. Does Ceedee play week 1?
I'm going to say yes.
I think I disagree because I don't know. I don't think he's going to take anything less than a perfect deal.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I feel like it happens because Jerry's going to be like, okay, it's enough, whatever. Here you go. He's just like, all right, I need this player for my team, but also specifically for the rating. So it's just annoying, and I would have loved to see him at camp and just be in football shape. And it's just a big year for the Cowboys, for Mike McCarthy, Dak. And yeah, that's kind of all I got. Any final thoughts?
I actually have one more question I'd like to ask. Do you think this hurts the Cowboys this season long term? Do you think this is a long term, not that the contract is long term, but do you think this kind of ordeal that Ceedee is having kind of sets a bad precedent for everyone else that's on the Cowboys right now and in the future?
Yes. And the foreseeable future, the most, I would say next season too, because you have the same thing with Micah Parsons. And I would look into Micah retweeting CD's tweet where he said LOL about no urgency. To me, that you can't lose Micah.
Well, I mean, you can't lose Ceedee.
You can't lose Ceedee, but you could argue there's not a strong argument about Ceedee being top 3 wide receiver right now.
think there's an argument for him being top 3. I don't think it's really close. He's definitely top 5. And I think Jefferson and Hill are 1, 2. And then it's really between Amon-Ra and Ceedee at that point. I think A.J. Brown's maybe in the conversation, but A.J. Brown's just not consistent enough for me. It's close. I would also say that Micah is kind of in the same situation where he's around. I don't think there's a clear he's the best end in the league. It's close. It really is because there's so many good guys at that position. Both of them are playing at stack positions and are the premium of that.
Okay, so yeah, you saw where I was going, and I would say Micah's more definite of top 3. I'm a little questioning Ceedee, but he gets better every year statistically. So it's just you don't want the same situation with Micah, especially when they have struggled defensively on the defensive line, and Micah is just a freak. So I would have gotten that done. Even during this whole thing, I'd go, Micah, what do you want? All right, cool. Here you go. Because it's going to be worth it, whatever you pay Micah. And you could argue the same thing for Ceedee. It's just.
If you were to play Ceedee or pay Micah before Ceedee, wouldn't that look bad or no?
Well, it already looks pretty bad. Because
would it not look worse?
I feel. I can see the argument, but to me, I also would never been in this. I would have never been in this situation if I were running the team, because I look at the idea of
You heard that here, Cowboys. Sign Kevin.
Yeah, well, I'll just have to buy the Cowboys since that's a thing. But it would look worse, but it'd be worth it in my opinion because I get Micah and then maybe Ceedee does something. But waiting until the last second to do something is not a great way to run a franchise.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll keep you updated. We'll see week 1, who is right, who is wrong. We'll talk about the Cowboys, of course, as we have season predictions. Make sure you're following it with us as the NFL is going. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, notifications, and all that. We also got Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.